Hi everyone. How have you been doing? It's been a long, while just trying to connect with you guys. Today we're gonna be talking about healthy eating, and sometimes I'm sure you guys have bits and pieces, a little bit about healthy eating, but it's just a good reminder in terms of making sure that we stay on pace with our healthy behaviors. So as you know, or maybe you don't know, we are supposed to eat like a balanced diet. A balanced diet consists of a protein, which is your meat, your fish, your chicken, your eggs. It also consists of your carbohydrates, which is what we get our energy from. And there's lots of carbohydrates. That's what most people eat every day. And that's your potatoes, your pasta, your rice. Um, and then you have your vegetables or vitamins. So you have your protein, your carbohydrate, and your fruits and vegetables. So under the fruits and vegetables, you have your spinach, your kale, your broccoli, cabbage, and all of that stuff. um, what constitutes like a healthy balanced diet? um, Usually it is recommended that you have less of the carbohydrates, a little bit more of the protein, and a lot of your vegetables and fruits. So if you have seen, I'm gonna put a diagram of your like my plate, or a healthy plate recommended by like the CDC. You're gonna see you have like a quarter of it being your carbohydrates, a quarter of it being your protein, and like about half of the plate being your fruits and vegetables. And oils, you need some oil also in your diet, but healthy oils. So what is like a healthy carbohydrate? A healthy carbohydrate is something that does not spike your sugar. So you need a carbohydrate that is able to be digested for a long period of time, and also one that is preferably not processed, because processed like carbohydrates, like your cakes and cookies and things like that, which have gone through the factory process, are made so that they can give you the sugar at a go, like you get it immediately. um, so you can get your carbohydrates from especially those long digested carbohydrates are usually the starchy carbohydrates, which are like your um, sweet potatoes, yams, um, and I'm thinking of things which are not processed, yeah. Cassava, um, like unbleached flour. So if you have unbleached, you can make food from unbleached flour. um, uh, like not very processed sugars, and that is just like sugar, like cane sugar, um, preferably with the sugars. You can take something which like honey, and of course everything here we're doing is within like proportion. So you have to take really small portions of this. And then you can also have like unprocessed or unbleached like pasta, and like whole grain rice, um, couscous, whole grain, quinoa is generally like more of a protein, but you can replace it for your carbohydrates if that is what you're looking for. So things like that, so something that can be makes you feel full fast, has a lot of fiber and releases its sugars for a longer period of time. Of course, also you're gonna take not too big portions of this. For example, you're not gonna take a whole plate of sweet potatoes. It has to be like half your plate, or maybe if you want to do that as dessert, that's fine, like a small bowl of dessert, and make your food more of the protein and the fruits and the vegetables. With the protein, as I said, you have the chicken, you have the fish, you have the protein, chicken, fish, meat. You can also eat meat, but red meat is not that recommended. But if you want to eat it, you can eat. Some people who are anemic need to eat red meat, so that is part of the protein. Preferably with this, also it needs to be, because some of them already have oil, like chicken will have oil in it. Chicken will have oil in it, and some of the meat will have oil in it. So if you can buy lean meats, if preferably organic meats, not processed meats, so no like sausages or the smoked and salted, like hot dogs and things like that. So something that you can cook. So, and then if it's like fish, it needs to be like grilled. If you want it boiled, you can boil, if you want it in stews, you can make it in stews. That's more preferable than fried. Then you also have, so you can grill your chicken, grill your fish, grill your meat. Try also when you're grilling not to make it too dark, because also when you get that black part of the chicken when you're grilling, if you take too much of that, it can also cause things like cancers. So we don't want it to be like you're eating the black stuff. So it's just perfectly grilled, perfectly seasoned. And apart from the fish, the meat, the eggs, yeah, you can have eggs. Also in moderation. We don't want you like eating like 7 eggs every day because of the high cholesterol content. So you just have to pace yourself, maybe an egg or 2 every other day. And you can have that boiled. If you're gonna fry it in a good oil, because some people don't like boiled eggs. You can have it poached. So yeah, you can do that. And with you can mix your eggs with like salad if you prefer it not to eat it on your own, on its own. So you can like change it up every day. And then you also have, apart from the eggs, you can eat like legumes. Legumes have both carbohydrates and protein, so you can eat beans, lentils, and replace that with the meats. So yeah, like beans, lentils, legumes, peas, things like that. You can use you can put in your stews. You can put in like sandwiches, tacos, and just make your meal interesting. As long as you're eating these in moderation, and you're trying to not go back to your unhealthy kind of eating, that should be good. So getting these foods sometimes can be let me go back to the oils. So for oils, you can try the oils that are recommended as like olive oil and olive oil, and I think grapeseed oil, also coconut oil. Also use these in moderation. Don't put too much oil. Try as much as you can to avoid fried foods. And nut oils also are okay, like almond oil, coconut oil. I think I've even seen like avocado like oil. Yeah, so you can use those kind of oils and just use enough, don't use too much. Of course, you have your fruits and vegetables. As I said, the vegetables, you can have a lot of that. Um, some people prefer it in salad, some people prefer cooked. Whichever way you want it, you just have a lot of that and try and avoid too much of frying. So if you want to eat salads, I would mix it up. So because the salads have more like fiber, and sometimes it's good to get the nutrients directly from uncooked uh, like foods. So like you can eat it like with coleslaw. You can eat like a salad and mix it up with like your nuts, your eggs, your fish, your chicken. You can make cook your vegetables. Just don't overcook them so that they're wilted. So you can cook your spinach, your kale, your cabbage, your broccoli. If you can grill, actually it would even be better because you're not overcooking them. So you can grill your broccoli, your green peppers, your people eat Brussels sprouts, and like there's a wide variety. But whatever you think you like, you take plenty of that. And I mean, it's good to change it up also, but you know, if you want to be consistent and you like a certain thing, I would say stick with that. Because sometimes it's so hard to eat a balanced diet, and I've struggled with that, so I know exactly like what it means to struggle eating a healthy diet. And you need a healthy diet for so many things. You need a healthy diet just for your overall well-being, making sure you're getting the right nutrients in your body, making sure your body is working well, making sure you're taking enough water, you're taking enough food to fuel up for going to work, having enough energy, healing, um, other things that we don't even think of, like just like the way your heart works, the way your stomach works, the way your bowel movements are. Like if you don't eat well and you're constipated, you get miserable. So you just need to eat like a really balanced diet for everything to be functioning well. And sometimes it's so hard to do that when for example, you have a busy schedule and you're not able to get the right foods on time. You're passing through the coffee shops, or buying bread from the supermarket instead of buying coffee from the coffee shop with whatever meal or snack there is. So it fills you up, but then fill you up with the right nutrients. And sometimes sometimes you're stressed, sometimes it's emotions. You want to feel good, you don't want to think about cooking or whatever that is stressing you at that moment. So you also buy whatever that is there. For example, frozen foods, pizza, cake, or whatever it is, ice cream. And you eat a whole tub of the ice cream, and then you're not able to eat anything else, which would be a healthier option. um, and sometimes if that's not a problem, sometimes it's your finances. Maybe you don't have enough money to buy the things which are good for you. If you are in like in countries where you can get organic food easily, I would recommend just buying fresh from the farm, fresh from your own um garden. If you can grow your own garden of food and buy and eat from what is there, that would be awesome. But if you don't, then you have to go and buy from the grocery shops, which can be expensive. Like here, if you have to go maybe to Trader Joe's, or you have to go to Whole Foods to buy the foods that are organic, and that can be quite expensive. So you end up going to the grocery shops, which may not have all the organic food that you may like. I would say you have to weigh your options. Even if you're not able to get those organic foods, you can still buy it from the grocery shops. As long as you're eating more of those than, for example, a pizza which is already processed, you're in the right direction. So instead of processed foods, eat the vegetables, even if they're from whichever grocery market there are. You just have to be more careful. Maybe, for example, if you're eating fruits, try and peel the fruit so that you're not eating pesticides. Or if you're gonna eat like vegetables and you're not quite sure how they were grown, maybe you can cook them a little bit more instead of eating like a salad or something like that. But eat more of your vegetables, eat more of your fruits. Also with the fruits, you have to be careful in uh in terms of the sugars. Like, you're not eating too much sugary fruits, which may spike your sugars, especially if you're diabetic. And that's another thing. Sometimes you might, because we know some part of nutrition, but we don't know everything. If you're going to your doctor's office, sometimes they recommend to see a dietitian. Take an opportunity to meet with a dietitian, to meet with a nutritionist, and discuss like the foods that are good for you, that you can replace, that you can take, that will balance out or give you the good calories or give you the good food nutrients. Sometimes we think that that they'll tell you, not to do this, but you might be shocked. They might actually have good recommendations for you. So I would not like dismiss the dietitian and nutritionist, which I see a lot of people do. So I would take that resource and just learn more about how to make your meals, and how to, sometimes you need to see, because usually they'll tell you to keep like a food diary. Sometimes you need to see that diary to see like, oh wow, I'm eating all the wrong foods, just to like prompt you to work a little bit better in terms of doing things that will make you eat a healthy meal. Apart from that, sometimes like you're going out, so like, so in terms of society or your social functions, maybe you're at work, they have social functions, there's only this food that is there, which is maybe all processed, or it has maybe a lot of dressing, a lot of like added things, added salt, added sauces, which you may not be good for you. um the thing that you should need to know is that you always have to educate yourself on what is good for you. So for example, if you're going to eat out like at a restaurant, some restaurants have like the calories per food, which is good. You can actually see like which has more calories than another, and you can choose which one you want to eat, which has less calories. But if it doesn't have like that kind of calorie food distinction, then try and avoid things with a lot of salt, try and avoid things with a lot of dressings, mayonnaise, sauces, because those added sauces are the ones which have like a lot of sugars and salt, which to make it tastier. Try and keep it, as I said, less of fried foods. Try and eat something that is maybe grilled, and more vegetables on your plate. If you're able to keep it that simple in terms of when you're eating out, you most of the time, and of course don't eat out every day. If you can, try and eat a home cooked meal, because you actually know what is being put in the meal, instead of when you're eating out and you don't know what exactly that they're using. So yeah, you can do that more, and that should be able to control like what you're eating, and in essence, at the end of the day, it will control like the good foods that you're eating in moderation, and you're also hopefully not gaining weight, like excess weight. um so yeah. And then so the other thing is, so what do we do when, to make it better, like to make it easier for us, so that we're able to eat the right foods? So I would say, meal prepping is a thing. You have to, if you're in the at home, of course, as I said, you're busy, you're not able to do things maybe all the time, cooking a fresh meal. So take the time that you have, if it's a Saturday or Sunday, make the good food that you want to make your stew, make your brown rice, make your is it sweet potatoes, and keep them in the fridge. Just put them in a container, put them in the fridge. You can also just like divide them into like snack bags or gallon bags, or smaller containers, so that you just take the amount you want each day to put out and eat, especially when you're busy and you just have to go. You just take it out of the fridge, put it out, put it in the, if you can cook it the better, if you can't, put it in the microwave and eat what you have and go. At least you know that you have food in there which is good healthy food, instead of stopping by somewhere else to buy food and then maybe not even eating it, or it's a bad option for you, and you've used money to eat a bad meal, and it's not giving you any purpose in your nutrition or for your body. So yeah, so meal prepping is good, so try and do that. And then also, as I said, like if you're in a hotel or something like that, try to make the like good choices. Then the other thing is, when you're buying foods, especially from the supermarket, the good thing is to check the labels, especially the nutrition labels at the back. Most of the things that you will see have sugar, in terms of added sugars, but if you have a choice and you look at the label, you're gonna see there's a place for sugars and there's a place for like fiber. If you see if it has more fiber, I would take that one, because the fiber cuts out the sugar. The fiber binds to that sugar and removes it out of the system. So even if it has a high amount of sugars, but it has a high amount of fiber compared to the one which has a high amount of sugars and no fiber, then you take the one which has more fiber, because it will counteract the sugars. Obviously, we're trying to reduce the sugars, so try taking things which have less sugars in it. Also, we're trying to reduce processed food, so most of the time if you're looking for those labels, then it's most likely processed. So try and look for things which are less processed, like you go to the grocery area, look for your fresh spinach, look for your fresh beetroot, fresh peppers, fresh potatoes, things like that, so that you are able to make them yourself and know how much you're gonna put in there. For fruits, you can buy certain things in bulk. For example, if you wanna buy like like the good sugars, like maybe either cane sugar or manuka honey, you can buy it in bulk so that you have it with you, so that you don't have to keep on like buying the processed stuff. You can buy a bulk, like beans or lentils, so that you just have to like boil them and keep them in the freezer. When you're ready, you cook them. For fruits and vegetables, you have to be careful in terms of how much bulk you're buying. If you're sure you're gonna eat them, or you have a large family, yes, I would say buy it in bulk. If it's just like you're one or two people in the house and you don't need so many vegetables, then I would just buy as much as you want to go, maybe for 3 days or for a week, so that they don't get spoiled. The other thing that you can do with fruits is that if you have a lot of the fruits, because sometimes you have to buy a big like bulk fruit, you can cut them and freeze them in the freezer and use the ones which are not frozen. You can eat right away, and then the ones which you think maybe will get spoiled or you want to freeze them, the frozen ones you can use for smoothies, you can use for salads, you can use for like a later period in time. If you want to make like a juice or something, you can use the frozen ones for later. So that you can also do. Vegetables also, you can probably cook. Sometimes if you cook them, they don't taste so great, but you can buy the frozen vegetables in a bag and freeze them, and then just use them as as one packet at a time, and you can grill those ones. For example, if it's like broccoli, you can take one package, open up the broccoli, grill it for one time, and eat that for maybe 2 or 3 days. So that's another way to make sure that you're not losing money, because you already said we don't have the money to do all of this stuff, but you're also getting enough of your vegetables as fresh as you can get, and eating them to get the nutrition that you need. So that is some other ways, some tricks of trying to stay on plan with your healthy choices, especially in terms of diet. And I have to insist again that eating in moderation is what you need to do. You need to make sure that you're you're you are not eating like huge plates, eating like a medium sized plate or a small plate, just enough for you to get full. Or even some, I think is it the Japanese or in Asian countries where they say you eat 80% full and keep 20%, just free of the stomach, so the stomach is able to digest. The stomach is able to able to take even more fluids than on top of your actual diet, so that you are not overfilling your stomach. And that helps in like the proper digestion of your foods. um, and then and as long as you're keeping to that moderation, you should be okay. Because if you do overdo one of or the other, even if you're overdoing the fruits, for example, if you're just doing fruits and vegetables all the time, then you're not getting some nutrients that are needed for your body. For example, you're not getting the protein which is used for making your muscle, or you're not getting the oil which is used for like dissolving some of the like the your gallstones, your in metabolism, or in mixing up your food. Or you're not getting if you're not getting the carbohydrates, you're not getting the energy to just keep up with your metabolism, to keep up with breaking down those foods, or giving you that mental energy. So if you eat everything in moderation, you should be fine. Like not too much salt. If you're not taking too much salt, then you're not getting like high blood pressure. If you're not taking too much sugar, then you're not getting like signs of inflammation and things like that. So just take everything in moderation, so that you're good. Like if you think, okay, we're gonna go out, we're gonna have dessert or something. Yes, your plan is that's maybe once in a while. Don't make every day a cheat day. uh, like you're eating your good food during the week, and maybe once during the weekend you have your cheat day, which is your dessert. And even if you're eating dessert, you can have your ice cream and fresh fruit. For example, you can have like an ice cream, maybe sorbet, and like sliced strawberry, so that you're getting both good and the good and the bad, if I can say that. um so that just it's a reminder that yes, I can eat a little bit of bad, but I also need to have some good. So if you're gonna eat like snacks, for example, I don't know, Doritos, then have an apple nearby, so like fresh fruit, so that you're able to take both, so that you're not completely going the other route. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so just try and keep in moderation, and and as long as you remind yourself to eat something good to balance out the bad, you should be fine. And then also, of course, drink lots of water. um, be careful of the water that you're drinking. Make sure it's good water. Make sure it's not if you want to bottle the water, or if you want to do filtered water, if you want to do your reverse oxygenation water, whichever water that you're taking, but just make sure that the water is good for you, it's not contaminated or anything like that. And take enough water. You need the water to drink throughout the day. It's our bodies are made about 50%, 60% water, so you need to keep that body rehydrated. It's also good for, apart from your digestion, it keeps things moving. It's also good for your skin. And I'll talk about skin all the time here. So yeah, it's also good for your skin. It's also good for your kidneys. So take enough water. Some people like me, we have water struggles, so I still try to drink water, but I also try to mix it up with maybe some like lemon flavor, or I've been taking a lot more juices. It helps me. And you can also take like herbal teas, like chamomile tea. I take hibiscus tea because it helps me with my anemia. Um, Lavender tea, Earl Grey, black tea, whichever you prefer. But also, it just keeps you well. Like the black tea and green tea, for me, I take it because of the antioxidants. and it's not all the time, but yes, you can take that. um Dairy, you can take you can take your dairy, you can take your milk. Cheese, depending on where you're getting your cheese, it might be good or bad. I would say don't take too much of cheese, because too much is associated with increase in cholesterol, and it can also cause digestive issues. So I would just be very like moderate with that, or even very little with that. But if you want to take your dairy, it's fine. If you have no problem with dairy, it's fine. If you have a problem with dairy, then you can go lactose free. They can take some Lactaid. For those people who have acne, sometimes it depends on what kind of dairy you're taking. um, so for me, I've been trying to reduce the amount of dairy that I'm taking. So for my tea, I'll take the dairy, but for other things, I'll take it with almond milk or with coconut milk, just to make sure that I'm not taking too much of the dairy, because of just that hormonal problem that it can cause with acne. And then I've been taking more of also the herbal teas, so that I'm able to get the fluid that I need, but I'm also not take I don't miss out on the calcium, because dairy is good for your calcium levels. So it helps with my bones, and making sure that the bones are not weak, they're strong, and they're forming in the right manner. If you think you're not going to be able to eat dairy at all, then it's good to take a calcium supplement. Which brings me to the other thing, is that you need to see your doctor and see, like, have your annual visit, make sure that they're doing the labs to see how your blood levels are, your iron, your protein, your blood levels, your hemoglobin, um, your like renal function, your liver function. See how that is working. If it's doing okay, then you're in the right, in the right path. Your weight, um if they see, as I said earlier, sometimes when they see that an increase in weight, they might prompt the conversation. Be open to the conversation, and be open to seeing a dietitian or nutritionist to talk to you about it. And then also exercise, of course. Exercise just keeps your muscles moving. It helps also to make sure that your bowel is moving. So you need to walk, you need to do some exercise, move around the block. If you can do extra, do a little bit of running, go to the gym, and that will also help you with making sure your body gets the right nutrients everywhere, and in making sure that your body is healthy, which is what I want to promote. That is what I talk to you guys about, so that you can do better for yourselves, for myself, and hopefully not have to go to the hospital if you're doing these things. A healthy body means that you're hopefully on the right track. And even when you're healthy, you can still get like diseases, illnesses. But if you're eating healthy foods, for example, people with cancer, sometimes you've been told people with cancer and sugar, the more sugar you take, the more the cancer cells grow. So the less sugar that you're having, then the more that the less the cancer can grow, that the more likely you can go into remission. So things like that. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, as long as you're eating healthy, you're doing the right things, you're doing it in moderation, you're taking your water, you're doing your exercise, try not to give up. And that's the other thing also. Sometimes you don't have the motivation to do these things, so it's good to check my YouTube, and then also have people to support you. Sometimes you may not like it, sometimes you may like it, but have at least that somebody to support you, to remind you, oh yeah, we can go out, have a walk while we're doing this and that. And then or let's, instead of eating this dessert, let's go buy something at the grocery store, which is a healthier option. Or maybe let's have a drink. Maybe it's not alcohol, let's go take some like a juice smoothie place, just that have that that support person who you're able to tell them their goal, you're able to tell your goals to, and they're able to support you in the right manner to promote a healthy diet for you. And try, don't take things too personal sometimes. Just take it like they're trying to help you. They're not like trying to, especially if you know they're trying to help you, like don't take it like badly, yeah. So if you have any comments below, you can put them down. Let me know what you guys are doing to keep a healthy diet. Let me know what you guys are eating. What have you researched that you think is bad? Put it down below. Put links below so that we know what to avoid. Who is going to be your support partner? Who helps you every day? Who do you see that motivates you? Follow them for their exercise, follow them for healthy eating, follow them on the TV or whatever. As long as you're seeing it, but you're also applying it in your own life, even if it's a little bit. Don't be discouraged. Be able to do it, and eventually, hopefully, you change your lifestyle one step at a time. Okay, so it was great being with you guys. I hope you take these points. I hope you you take steps in eating a healthy, balanced diet, and do your meal prep, do the right things. Make sure you have the healthy options in your house, and have a support person. Look for that support person, or even if it's not a support person, that YouTube video